Yo, what up folks? We have a sweet one today. The hottest deck in town in both Pioneer and Explorer is what people are calling Boros Hogaak, kind of Boros tokens, Boros aggro with some particular twists and turns to make it really explosive and pretty exciting too. So, let's get into it. We are focused around Veteran Loxodon and Knight Errant of Eos. Two really powerful Convoke cards. Knight Errant of Eos provides the kind of like quote-unquote Hogaak kind of infinite value engine. Not actually infinite, of course, but 4 and a white for a 4/4 with Convoke. When enter the battlefield, look at the top 6. You reveal up to 2 creature cards with mana value X or less, where X is the number of creatures that convoked it. Put the reveal cards into your hand and then a shuffle. Venerated Loxodon instead gives you a bunch of power, so 4 and a white for a 4/4 again with Convoke. When it enters the battlefield, put a counter on each creature that convoked it. So we're trying to power these out as fast as possible, realistically as early as turn 2, and then let's have a look at how we're doing that. We have 4 copies of Ornithopter, okay, free creature, that makes sense. We've got 4 copies of Voldaren Epicure, alongside 4 copies of Thraben Inspector, which importantly both make artifact tokens, and kind of adding on to that, we have Gleeful Demolition. You can pop your Blood tokens, you can pop your Thraben Inspector Clue tokens, you can pop your Ornithopters if you need to in a pinch, to create 3 1/1 Phyrexian Goblin creatures, which then you can use immediately to Convoke with. So either of these lets you do some pretty nuts stuff in terms of, hey, you go like turn 1 Thraben Inspector, turn 2 you Gleeful Demolition, blow up the Clue, and all of a sudden you can Convoke for a Knight or a Venerated Loxodon straight away with the Inspector plus the 3 tokens, which is absolutely nuts. We also have a couple of other things. Legion Landing is a really nice one for one of these kind of like token style decks where you're just trying to swarm the board. If you attack with 3 or more creatures, you flip it. When it enters the battlefield, you make a vampire, of course. I'll just go past that. But yeah, you flip it, you get a land drop, then also it gives you some longevity versus like things like Control, where you can start making tokens with it later on in the game once you've run out of resources. Legion Landing's still really good here. You get a creature, and then also you get to jump ahead on lands a bit. Giant Killer is a nice one. Obviously, one of the nice things with Knight Errant is that you can kind of, you have some ways to find like silver bullets. Giant Killer is one of them here. That tap ability is also really key, because you're swarming the board so fast. Being able to just like tap down your opponent's only blocker is actually super relevant, as well as being, hey, you've got that chop down, instant destroy target creature with power 4 or greater. So really synergistic. At 2 then, we've got a couple of things. We've got Burning Tree Emissary. Obviously, enters the battlefield, makes some mana, and you get to do something else. Whether that's be like Forbidden Friendship, one of the better things you can do, 1 in a red, create a 1/1 dinosaur, which is red, and a 1/1 human soldier, which is importantly white. The dinosaur is haste, but of course, because it creates a white creature, it lets you then Convoke for either of your really awesome 5-mana Convoke spells. One of the things we don't have, unfortunately, that's missing from the deck in Explorer, it's not on Arena yet, is a Reckless Bushwhacker. Is an amazing card. That surge ability, being able to just power up your whole team, give them more haste, and just get straight in, is really explosive. And we've seen some like Ataka builds as well, with Ataka's command, that unfortunately we don't have in Explorer yet, but soon. Other things at 2, we've got Resolute Reinforcements. 1 and a white for a 1/1, enter the battlefield and make a token. It's got Flash, but one of the nice things here is that you can find it off of Knight Errant of Eos, and it gives you 2 bodies back. Awesome there. And then obviously you can do your normal Convoke stuff, go wide. Then we also have 1 copy of Clarion Spirit, which is actually pretty nice because it makes flying creatures. You don't have a lot of evasion here other than the Ornithopters, which of course they need to be powered up. Clarion Spirit, 1 and a white for a 2/2. When you cast your second spell each turn, create a 1/1 Spirit creature token with a flying. Obviously we're trying to cast a bunch of spells, so that can often make a bunch of spirits, which is awesome. I'm going to find more spells, and then cast more spells to make more spirits, and then we're going to kill our opponents. That's the plan. 19 lands. Importantly, 2 copies of Castle Embereth here, which let you power up all your kind of like, what can be kind of diddly creatures. You're going to make a ton of 1/1s. Hopefully you get like Loxodon to power them up, but Embereth gives you a way to pump them all, which is really nice. To that end, we've got 3 mountains alongside 4 Sacred Foundries here to kind of allow that. And we've got 4 copies of Spiring Vantage, 4 copies of Battlefield Forge, and then 2 copies of Mana Confluence. You need access to every single colour as fast as possible, so you're playing just all of them, and you're not really running the chance of running into any lands that are tapped. You're playing a little risk with Castle Embereth, but the payoff here is just so high. Let's have a look at the sideboard, and then we'll hop into some ranked matches. This is probably the most exciting deck I've played in a long time. The first thing, you've got another copy of Giant Killer. Obviously decks where that destroy target creature with powerful greater is going to be really good. Or also decks that can put up a lot of blockers or make some big chunky blockers. You want to tap them down. That's fair enough. Forged Devil is a really nice sweet piece of tech that I've seen. So red for a 1/1, and that enters the battlefield. It does 1 damage to a creature and 1 damage to you. Now, it's not up to 1 creature, so if you play it on turn 1 and there's nothing else on the board, it does kill itself. Bear that in mind, play carefully, but versus decks where they're going to make 1/1s, so things like Elves, or Mono Green where they're going to have a bunch of Elves, or, in fact, the Mirror, some anti-tech, really powerful, and again, obviously contributes to your game plan. You want to spam a lot of 1-drops onto the board. We then have 2 copies of Magmatic Chasm. These are really important versus Mono Green. Mono Green, obviously, they're going to make, like, giants and cavaliers, trolls, and so getting through is really important. Otherwise, if you're on the draw especially, you're going to struggle to get through and put that damage in. You've got 4 copies of Rending Volley. One way to interact with Greasefang, but also is very good versus Angels, Spirits, all that kind of stuff. And we've got Invasion of Gobakhan. 1 and a white, covers it on 3 defense counters, but when it enters the battlefield, look at target opponent's hand. You may exile a non-land card from it for as long as it remains exiled. Its owner can play it, but for 2 mana more. It gives you a really nice way to disrupt combo, but also, hey, if you flip it over and do that 3 damage, then you're putting counters on all the creatures you've got, which is amazing. And it's a little bit of insurance versus things like Supreme Verdict and Wrath decks as well. And come in there too. Pretty sweet, pretty sweet. Yeah. A lot of really nice synergies in this deck, and we're going to take it some ranks. If you're not already, please do subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to hit 1,000 by the end of the year, and yeah, thank you for your support so far. Let's get into it. Alright, first matchup here. Yeah, people are calling this Boros Hogaak, like Boros Blitz, Boros Convoke. They all kind of fit. But hey. So, there are some very keepable one-land hands in this deck. So here we've got Vadara Epicure, Leaf and Demolition. If we hit the second land, obviously we've got Burning Tree and stuff, but if not, we have 1 4 creatures, so in theory we can lock it on after anyway. But that does play 19 lands, which is more than you might expect. I think I'm going to keep this. And so, in that way, we are likely to get to Convoke from Venery and lock it on. I like our odds. Maybe they know what we're up to. They're going to get to Thoughtseize, so they're going to be able to take the locks on here, which is pretty awkward. They could also go like to the... Sorry, I guess actually, yeah, this is the best thing you can do. We're going to go ahead and loot now. I think I'm going to get rid of one of the 5s. We'll go ahead and picture Loxodon, just so we've got the errant to draw 2. And okay, cool. So we get a second land. Next turn, we're actually threatening Burning Tree into Forbidden Friendship here, which is super, super good. So even though we've had like a bit of a slow start, we can now go Burning Tree, Forbidden Friendship, and vote for Loxodon. Pretty good, pretty good. And I process keep him up. Alright, cool. Well, game 2, these might get a little bit more tricky here. We don't have a ton of amazing cards versus Black Red. You could choose to bring in these Invasions of Gobakhan, which is what I'm thinking about. And none of the other cards I'm really that worried about or like keen on bringing in. These slow them down a little bit. Like, yeah. I think realistically, there's like Slayer, Giant Killer, Kill, Shieldred. We're not like... I'm pretty happy running this back. There are some things like we're not playing anything that gives us more, like grind potential, I guess, out of the sideboard. You could play like Fable's a bit too expensive, really. I was going to try the 2 mana, exile the top 2 cards, and you can play them to any of the next turn. But decided to go like this instead, which I think is still really, really good. But we don't really have a ton here. We're gonna leave as is, and then we'll work out if we see a bunch of sweepers, then we will bring in the invasions. This is a little slow. We're on the draw. Knight Errant does a lot, to be fair. This is a good test of how fast do we need to be. Do they have a Thoughtseize, or are they going to leave like a fatal push? Okay, they do have a Thoughtseize. That's probably going to catch the Knight Errant. They could also choose to take one of the other creatures, but the Knight Errant's the one that's going to win us the game. Okay, that's fair enough. That is an awkward draw, for sure. We don't necessarily want to see the 3rd land, never mind the 4th and the 5th. US is fine. He's gonna miss. They knew we did everything before, but obviously... I'm trying to think actually is there... Okay, we've got Forbidden Friendship, so we actually have like a pretty start. And we're lucky to convoke into Knight next turn. Alright. They push the Burning Tree Emissary, but that is okay. And the dinosaur does have haste, so here we go. Want a ridge. Alright, they really want to hard deny the knight here. But I think 2, 1, 2, 3. We're done. 3. Yeah. I think just going attack for now. And then looking to Knights on their turn, and then Convoke into Knight Errant would be good. I get to steal the Knight Errant, which isn't great. But hey. Yeah, we did a 3-4 last turn. Alright, we can't really break through this at the moment. Yeah, a bit of a tough one. They're nearly playing off the top as well. So, hey. We have some good draws. They're gonna try and get aggressive here? Okay. Yeah. You get to eat a couple of different things. Epicure is solid. Go ahead and loot away the Battlefield Forge. Alright, Hidden Friendship is decent. Now they have to think a little bit about attacking. We can just throw a block in front of the Burglarship Giant. I'm pretty happy with that. If they want to try and race us like that, that's a losing game plan. I'll put the token here. Tap land. My gosh. 7. This presents lethal next turn. We're live versus most things. If they have land stomp, like land of the Bone Crusher in hand, then we are dead. That's not even math, that's 9. Don't worry. Don't worry, everything's fine. Okay, Harvester thing's gonna get a little bit more tricky. They're on 4. Are they gonna come in as well? Are they dead on board? I'm sat here like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I certainly think they're dead on board, but I'm gonna be careful because they don't. Alright. Yeah, there we go. That is lethal, in fact. As we suspected. Alright, sweet. Well, we'll see you in the next game. Alright, second match. Yeah, pretty brutal versus our black. Trying to blow them up. Despite them having, like, fairly good stuff. Okay, well. This is no good, but. Okay. See, so we're on 6. We're on the play. We have Sacred Foundry, Ornithopter. I think we just have to keep this. I don't want to go to 5. I think we go to 5. We just aren't doing enough to win the game. We're just like a little underpowered. Bottom the Giant Killer. I think that's the best thing to do. We'll go ahead and hold off playing the Ornithopter for now, and I will Epicure. That way we can at least, like, in theory, loot. See what's going on. They probably think I'm like playing modded Greasefang. I'm curious what they take here. They could take the Inspector, they could take the Burning Tree, they could take the Lockstone. Lockstone's the most powerful card, but it's the one we're furthest away from actually putting into play right now. They did do that. I kind of feel like we're better off cashing the Inspector in. Maybe without Lockstone we actually cash the Ornithopter in. Or we could just ditch Burning Tree. One of these things. Obviously, we have Burning Tree, Forbidden Friendship here. The thing with the Thorium Inspector is that it doesn't actually, other than just like putting a 1-power creature to play, we're not really cracking the clear anytime soon. Oh no. I'm just gonna concede here. After the DC, I can't really do enough. Okay. So, versus Greasefang, we've got these 4 copies of Rending Volley. We also have the Invasions. We don't want to board that many cards in or out. These Giant Killers are not up to much, I'm afraid. And then I'm also going to board out the Clarion Spirit, because that's a little bit slow. And I think I'm going to cut one of the Resolute Reinforcements to make room for these. And we will run it in. The giant killers can kill Greasefang, but not like in a consistent way. Having 3 mana is pretty tricky. Holding up 3 mana is very telegraphed. Yeah. Again, 19 lands. So yeah, we're on the play here. Okay, this is super fast. We can flip Legion Landing on turn 2. I'm going to go ahead and make these out. We have to decide between flipping Legion Landing and just going Knight Errant. 1, 2, 3. Like, pretty close to being able to do both, but we won't want to just die to Greasefang. That's what we want to avoid. They can also have like a fatal push here if we go to combat with these. I think we should just make the Knight Errant. I'm just thinking I want to do this in the least aggro possible. Okay. Looks like they don't have fatal push anyway. But we'll go ahead and do this then. And we'll grab these for next turn. So 1, 2. They can have like with a boon command that'll stall us a bit. Just the thing that they're looking for, hopefully, they're hoping to have Grizzly Salvage into exactly what they need to kill us, or not kill us, but you know, do Greasefang things. I'm just gonna go ahead and move to combat. We're gonna flip over our Legion's Landing. We can basically play the rest of our hand out here, whether we actually want to or not. There's a... I should maybe have left it only up to back. We have some options. Because going wide does get us pretty far, we can either track the clue with this mana. I think that's the best thing to do. Alright. We'll pay and go in with that again. And then we'll see what they do. We have enough life to survive like 2 sets of angel attacks. It's just a case of whether we can make it through their blockers. And what they hit here. So, no no Parhelion, but they do have a Sky Sovereign. Sky Sovereign comes in, they can either choose to blow up the Knight, or they can choose to blow up 2 of our creatures. They can get the like a Burning Tree and like one of these. It's probably not good enough for them. Especially if their third land is Mana Confluence. But given they not play the double pathway, I'd imagine that they have a white card they want to play off this. Whether it's Greasefang or not, we will see. See what they have here. And then we'll have to play with them on the draw, assuming we can win this game. This Rennie Volley is going to do overtime. Also considering the invasions, we've not seen any like interaction boarded in for what we're doing. Obviously with the boon commands like decent versus us. It's not that special though. They're going to go to 11, they get the Parhelion back. The Parhelion. The Sky Sovereign back. They can crew up, and then they're going to go for 2 creatures it looks like. No, okay, they're going to do... Alright. They're going to hit us for 6 and then try and shoot down the Knight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. You draw like a Castle Embereth, we obviously have lethal. There's some other bits and pieces. Knight's not a terrible draw. We want to leave a Ornithopter back though, for sure. Yeah, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is down to 4. Then we're going Epicure. And then we can evoke 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Leave a... Yeah, okay, I think that's good. This way, if they have, grab these. Like, if they can put Bohemian in the graveyard, it's not going to kill us. We've got an up to the block one of the angels, and then similarly, like, if they Sky Sovereign, then they're not killing us. Okay. Let's see what's up. We have some backup in hand, too. Now, Grizzly Salvage does find the Pavilion. If they have Fatal Push, that does get them there. Yeah, if they have Push for the Ornithopter, they win. But if they have it, they're slow rolling it a little bit. Or maybe the servers are having issues. Mm-hmm. Heartless Act will do it. If in theory left 2 Ornithopters back, this obviously is... I think leaving 1 back is fine. But obviously it did leave us losing here. We just not made the Knight Errant. Fair. Alright, well. We did lose the game 1 to a DC as well. I'm not sure, I think this is the right play. We just go wide. We need to be able to make enough creatures to get through the angels on the other way side. So hey, we'll see. Alright, next game. What's next game? Alright, match 3. Yeah, that was tough. I think that if we leave both Ornithopters back, then we need to really consider like how much damage we can actually push through. So at that point, we're not making the Knight Errant, and then they can have either like get the Sky Sovereign back online, shoot down 2 more of our creatures to take us off the right amount of damage, or like something like Witherbloom Command can like really destroy us as well. Obviously, we lost them having effectively the perfect cards to get them the Bohemian into the graveyard plus a removal spell. But hey. This looks really solid. Opponents on the play. Hope we don't get thought seized. Alright, Razor Edge ticket. Vessel. So Greasefang. Almost certainly. We have, I guess, the kind of nut start. We'll see how it works out. Yeah, there's a Dartboard pathway. Okay, Informants. They're not just sacking the vessel. Which feels worse for us because it means they have a vehicle straight away. So from our side here, oh, cancel that. We want a Burning Tree into Lethal Demolition this. To be fair, I don't think we're going to use this 1 extra mana. I'm just going to cover this out. There we go. The thing is that we're still, like, you know, in a rough spot if they have Greasefang here. So in this situation, they can shoot down, like, the Burning Tree and the Throbbing Inspector, and they've really used a lot of power, as opposed to, like, here if they double shoot the Venerator locks it on. Not the end of the world, we've still got a bunch of creatures on board. We then have to contend with, like, the next turn, and with the Vessel in play, maybe they manage to find the Bohemian again, but hey. The power of Abs and Greasefang, and the many different variations thereof. I've done a video on the Traverse version, which plays like 3 copies of Vessel and 3 Traverse Evenwalls. And I've also just done a video on the Evolution version that plays the Eldritch Evolution. You can sacrifice your Fiend's Informant, you'll sit away, find your Stitcher Supplier to go get the Greasefang. Okay, so neither of the things that we talked about happened. This Forbidden Friendship makes a hasty creature, so I kind of want to play that now. Just trying to work out which way around to do this. Around 20. Long term, having the the treasures you're basically taking the turn off to sacrifice, but this you're only spending a mana, so you can maybe do something with the card you get. So it's probably more advantageous to have the Epic here in play. Well, to play this first. We'll take some damage here. Put the hut in. Alright. So, if they have Greasebang into... Well, they don't have anything in the graveyard for starters. But for example, the mass works are like Greasebang into Parhealing, get some 2 blockers back the other way, so be able to block the blocks it on the trade, so we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3. It's an interesting mess. I'm gonna board the same way again. I might leave the Giant Killers in this time. I really don't like the Resolute Informants here. The Clarion Spirit is just kind of a little too slow. It does make a flying blocker, but it kind of defeats the... It's not the point. Yeah, because you can't play this off of the Burning Tree. It's just a little bit worse. Do you bring an extra Giant Killer? I think we maybe should do. Maybe I'm just completely wrong about this. Before I've turned around on it. We're just going to do this. Kind of fine having more 1-drops in the deck too. But winning game 1 is super important. This hand also very good. Capital Embereth looks like it's entering tapped, which is awkward. They've mulliganed to 6. Which is, you know, okay. We have Legion's Landing plus something up to... We can still flip Legion's Landing turn 2 because we've got this Forbidden Friendship. Ooh, this mountain's huge. We'll lead off like this. The problem is that without having a Reigning Volley to interact with, no matter how good our start is, if they just have Greasebang Parhelion on turn 3, it's going to be really hard. So... Play this. Oh, pain. Actually punting games. This is maybe a whole lot. So we get 1-2. This would be the 3rd attack. We can make it. Ah, jeez. Alright. I even talked about what I was going to do, and then just forgot to put the cards into play. This is why I'm a terrible arena player, and a bit better in paper. Just you want to explain things. Alright, so here's the Grisly Salvage. They do hit a Parhelion. They didn't find a Greasebang off of it, but they might have one in hand already, and we know that they've got the lands. We do have a Castle Ambereth, which is a kind of a bit of a saving grace. Thoughtseize is fine. We now also know that they don't have a little bit. They're keeping this untapped land, which means they probably have a Chariot next turn. Oh well. They've shown us the double pathway, so that's the way I'm thinking about this. I think our best bet here is to say all attacks, flip this, then just activate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I was thinking that this. Alright. Gonna go ahead and sack this away. Just see what we hit. Alright, alright. Okay. Well, this is the worst game that I've played all day. But hey, we get there. Yeah, I missequenced with the Ornithopter, despite me saying, oh, we're going to play the Ornithopter and let us flip on turn 2. It was literally like, this is what I should do, and then didn't. Alright. Last game of the day. I am, Edge of Diamond. I've just really not played a lot this season, to be honest. But, hey. Would have had it if we didn't DC that one game, maybe. How it goes. Partners on the play. Dan. We're on the draw. Double Lockstone kind of means we're less vulnerable to Thoughtseize. The companion they're playing is a Yorion, which I think implies an enigmatic incarnation, given the information that we have. It won't necessarily be, but I think that's the most likely. We'll see how it plays out. Who kept? Oh yeah, so you might be thinking like, why didn't play the Ornithopter like instinctively last game? So when you have Legion Landing, you want to get the Ornithopter out and play as straight as possible. If you have Convoke cards and you don't have enough creatures to convoke straight away, it's better to hold the Ornithopter and then play it when you're going to use it to convoke. That is a really good draw. This is exactly what I was talking about last time, and this time we're going to play the Ornithopter. Alright. Now the Forbidden Friendship can then flip the Legion's Landing, but then we're not convoking that turn. Okay, so this is not Enigmatic Incarnation, this is blue-white Yorion control. So here, we're going to Forbidden Friendship. We will attack here. We'll flip, and then we'll make another Legion's Landing. And if we're clever, we kind of get to use an extra mana next turn as well. Kind of neat. I think they're thinking about marching the token here. It doesn't stop Legion's Landing flipping. Now it's triggered. But hey, is one thing to think about. Yeah, we're not actually doing much damage. So if we use this land before we attack with 3 more creatures next turn, we'll get to flip it again. Otherwise, because this is legendary, sadly. Oh, that island art is really nice. Oh, that's bro. And I hate it. I hate everything. I'm gonna shock this because it represents us making a token. I forgot about our old friend Temporary Lock there. Jeez. That does make sense though. This is gonna be a tough game. For sure. Destroy our artifacts. Yeah. If we have Wrath, if we get Wrath, we have this advantage to play with, but they're gonna have other stuff going on. In a minute, they've still got 5 cards in hand. Yeah, we'll do this. We'll get mate disappeared. Okay. So games 2 and 3 here, this is definitely a matchup where the invasion is really good. They're gonna add Yorion. It's fine. We can just do this. If we make a token, we have 3 creatures. We should do this because it's a clock a bit. I don't want to. I should keep the Inspiring Advantage in hand, I think. But we do have the advantage to be doing things with, so we're incentivized to keep at least playing 1 more land drop. Then we can do Adanto plus use a mana. The other consideration to that is that Epicure makes blood tokens, which we can loot away things. There is a verdict. Fair play. We drew fairly well out of it. Obviously, this way we're not going to crack the clue. Sadly. I mean, if they can't litigate for demolition, then I guess we can. But yeah, here we are. Passing it back. They can... Yeah, they're going to Yori in the temporary lockdown. This is fair enough. The thing is, the temporary lockdown also eats the clue token, so... Okay. Alright. Big old sad. With the Yori in play, I'm actually going to keep this in hand. I'm just going to activate an Ando here. Next question is how far into the game before I scoop it up? Team is coming to the red zone. Yep. Now we're on 15. This is 7, this is like potentially 11. Go ahead and activate this. We do have our Vampire Soldier Maker 5000. Ooh, the Giant Killer makes this more interesting. We've been in friendship, but now we have an answer to the Yorian. They can make a soldier here? That is annoying.
Guards, to me.
I don't think there's a good, like, timing point to cast this. Now is better than that I'm tapping. So I think I'm just gonna send this off. Okay, auto-warring the Yorian isn't as bad, but it might as well be.
Keep watch for intruders.
Can't feel great about this. We'll see if they want to reset it this turn. I guess not, because they need a token here. Yeah, they're just gonna make it, and then I think Wandering Emperor. Oh, they did. Yeah, but why? Okay, I don't. It doesn't make a ton of sense to me because you're getting rid of your own soldiers. But hey, you do get one back here.
Do the talking.
I'll use the mana to activate. Woo. Combo deck. Yeah, this looks pretty done. Wondering what they want to put counters on.
Fast and strike hard.
Take 7 here. Like one more draw step. Trying to think like what sequence we need. Are we like Knight Errant into 2 more cards, one of which deals with the Orion? So that's it. I'm just gonna skip this. Alright. You spent too long in this game already. Bad for everyone's sanity. We want the invasions. In spite of it being able to kill Yorion, I do not want these giant killers in the deck. I don't want the Magmatic Chasms, I don't want the Rending Volleys, it's these cards. And I want to cut 2 copies of some. The Clarion Spirit I think is fine. Oh, it's the card that I... Well, it's a one of, but it's the card that I'm... It's pretty decent, but when they're... We're just going to run out of spells to cast once they've kind of... Yeah. You have ways to refill, which is important. But hey. We've got to keep our curve down a little bit, so I think cutting the Clarion Spirit is correct. I think we're going to trim one of our favourite Resolute Reinforcements. We do get to be on the play, which is huge. They are going to be on the play in Game 3 if we get there. See how they side. We're taking a little bit of time about it. There's a couple of other interesting sideboard cards I'm like, we should try out. The exile, the top 2 cards of your library, and like play turn to turn, end of your next turn, is I think reasonably decent. I think it's better than playing something like Fable. Okay, so we get to be on the play. How's our hand looking? Well, it's a one-lander. It's a pretty good one-lander. Got like some of this stuff going on. The question I think is, can we outpace a temporary lockdown? Turn 1, we're making one of these. Turn 2, we're making Gleeful Demolition. And then if we have a land, then we get to... turn 3... If we've demolished, then we get to make the attacks. I'm just trying to think if we can actually invoke this. Not without drawing a land. In for a penny, in for a pound. I'm going to keep it. And they're just not going to have a temporary lockdown on turn 3. That's the plan. Alright. With the Gleeful Demolition, I've led this way because we're not going to be sacrificing the treasure anyway. We're just going to go ahead and fire this off. This is all of a sudden increasingly dangerous. So if we get this card, like mate disappeared, we like instantly lose, right? Oh, we don't instantly lose. I think this is better than like trying to faff around a little bit. Because if they counter this, then we get to do the other thing next turn. Alright, taking the Knight Errant is nice, and I think the best thing here is to take the Epic here, because we're stuck on one land. Yeah. And now if they have the temporary lockdown, we at least get to keep an eye around. At least. They also do not have double white. Okay, so what's the chances we have to power another Knight out here? We're going to have 1, 2... 1, 2... 4... Need to keep like one creature back? Alright, hang on. 1, 2... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is the answer? We can't Burning Tree, unfortunately, off of the answer. They could have a normal Supreme Verdict. What are the chances of that? The thing is that the Knight Errant gives us cards, so we can't care about that too much. I think we're just running it. If a Verdict here, we're gonna have a bunch of creatures to redeploy. Oh, I don't want to take the Burning Tree because we can't cast it. But the only felt to also is not doing it. Alright. If they don't have a verdict and they don't have a lockdown, they're dead. That is the solace that we have. That is a blue land. So they have neither of those things. Alright, cool. We just need to win a game on the draw. I think this is still correct. Like, would like more 1-drops, obviously I'm not going to board in the Forge Devils. Yeah. No more 1-landers, please. There you see the power of Ranger Captain Evios, not Ranger Captain, Knight Errant Evios there. Just like drawing you more and more resources. So even if they did Rathus, we'd still have some more stuff going on. Which is at least nice. Okay, here we have Thraben Inspector, Gleeful Demolition into nothing. But we... yeah. I don't think we can afford to mulligan it. Yep. Always the 4th land. Always. Okay, so here at least we have some other options. We have Binding Tree into Forbidden Friendship around. Because we might want to sacrifice... If you find, like, another way to... We might find another way to do this. Let's cast the Binding Tree Emissary first. See what happens. So we might just make disappear this. They certainly are thinking about it. Alright, cool. Yeah, so we lose this. We're not doing this on this turn anyway. In with the 3 minutes better. So we have Friendship. Plus Demolition. Okay. A lot of tokens. Tap Tallow Fountain. We've got lands to pitch, so actually blowing the clue is fine. I'm gonna leave with this. We can go red zone first. It's not like the Gleeful Demolition's up to a bunch of a, like, temporary lockdown and get rid of the clue either. Making a 1-1 here is annoying. Oh yeah, they play this tap. Just cycling it. Okay. Go ahead and do this. We're missing our Convoke payoff cards. Even if we're putting like a reasonable amount of stuff on the board. Another Gleeful Damage isn't necessarily what I wanted. I'm expecting Wandering Emperor here, but there's like a very small chance they have Tether Wreckage, but there's no shot we can play around it. Okay, Shot 17 for 2 is okay. They make a blocker, they get to cycle a card. They block something, but they're going to take some damage. So here we're in a spot. There are 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh dear. We put them in like threat of 1. The problem is if they lock down, like we're gonna have to sacrifice this clue off, which turns off these demolitions. I think we're just kind of oh no. In for a penny, in for a pound here. I say that, but it looks like I've crashed. Yep. Alright, well, hang on a second. Okay, arid. Nice. One-time dealer. Oh dear. Well, Arena has crashed and will not open again after multiple attempts, so I guess we're done here. But hey, hope you enjoyed the video. This deck is really, really sick. Would definitely recommend. Super, super powerful and is only getting better as we get some more cards added to Arena. If you enjoyed the video, please do like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and yeah, have a great weekend. Thanks for watching.